Hey guys, welcome to my video. On adding Bluetooth capabilities to your original N64 console. Now, what I'm going to be demonstrating today is adding Blue Retro code to an ESP32 chip to control the inputs on your N64. So I know you can buy these kits online. I'm not sure exactly how much they cost, but it's a lot of what people have been doing now to make their N64 have Bluetooth capabilities. So pretty much what it is one of these chips encased and then in one of these plugs, and then you plug it into your N64 console, and that will give your N64 console Bluetooth capabilities. So you can connect your N64 Bluetooth controllers and such. So what I've done here is done it myself. So instead of buying the module already made, I am making it from scratch. So what I'm going to do today is show you guys how I've done that. So what I have here is a ESP32 board. Now these boards you can get on Amazon. They're about maximum $15. Probably get them a lot cheaper though. Depends on where you're getting from exactly. This one was probably about 10 bucks. And what this one is a ESP32 with a Dev board attached to it. So this little chip here, I have one by itself. This is the chip itself, and the rest of the board is the Dev board that connects to the USB ports and has other pins that you can connect to peripherals like we have connected to N64 inputs. So actually what I am going to do in this video is demonstrate how this works. And I want to, instead of having the external part with all these wires, we're going to put the chip inside the N64 so you won't even see it. There will be nothing on the front of the N64. It'll all be on the internal inside. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to demonstrate how this chip works with the N64. I've 3D printed a little crude case to go on the top here. Like I mentioned before, this has Bluetooth capabilities and already programmed for the N64. Now I would like to note the N64 only outputs 3.3 volts on the controller ports, but it's limited on each port. So if these ports are to draw too much power, the N64 has something in there that will stop the power draw. So pretty much what I'm saying is you can get 2 ports, so probably 2 controllers working, 2 inputs working with the power that the N64 is going to output from the ports. So when you plug in another port, so say 3 or 4, the N64 will not output enough power and the Bluetooth capabilities will start to deteriorate. So I've noticed with the 2, it should be okay. We're going to do a few tests here and see if that is okay. But later in my video, I'm going to demonstrate how to put this chip right inside the N64, which will bypass the limitations on the 3.3 volts. And it will make all 4 ports work with the N64, so you can have 4 controllers wirelessly connected at one time. But for now, I'm going to demonstrate how it works. So let's turn our screen on. Like I mentioned before, I've already programmed the firmware onto the ESP32. So let's turn on the N64. Move the camera up a bit. So here's my NSO controller, which is a wireless Bluetooth Nintendo controller. This is just what I'm using to test. So I've already connected it, so it should connect. There it goes. Bluetooth byte on the Dev board is solid. So now I can open a game. And the Rumble pack does work too. You just need to turn on the Rumble with this button here. Let's load up Star Fox. See if we can get a game going for a second, just for demonstration purposes. Excuse me.
It's about time you showed up, Fox.
Yeah, and the rumble's working. You can probably hear it. Okay, so this is with one controller. Let's see what happens when we get two controllers. Okay, so now I have my modified 8-bit Duo controller, which is also wireless Bluetooth. So that should be connected. So now we have two inputs connected. I'm using this controller, which is in the second input. And then here's this controller in the first input. Let's go to two-player game. I don't have two people, so let's play by myself. Yeah, see, so they're both working. Okay. So I'm not going to demonstrate it, but once you put a third input in, that's when the ESP32 stops working, which is your Bluetooth controller here. So that's the end of the demonstration. I'm going to show you how it works now. So I'm going to switch to my computer screen now. Excuse me. So on my computer now, I'm just going to be using Windows today. You can use Linux, probably even Mac, but today I'm going to be using my Windows machine just for this most simplest install. So if you look on my computer screen now, excuse me, if you look at my computer screen now, you'll see the GitHub for Blue Retro. So this is the firmware we're going to be using on our ESP32 chip. Now, I did mention before, I'm going to put this just the ESP32 chip into my N64 without the actual dev board part. Now, if you want to put, like if you can't get a hold of this chip and this burning board, which I have, you can put the ESP32 Dev board right into your N64 also, which will have those lights, the Bluetooth and the red light on there. But for my video today, I'm just going to be using the ESP32 chip itself. So you can follow along doing both methods. You can do what I'm doing, or you can use this board itself. So I'm going to get this board out of the way. It works exactly the same as what I'm going to be doing in this video, so you can follow along exactly like that, because I'm going to be using this burn board for my ESP32 chip. So it works the same as the dev board. So what I'm going to do here is put my ESP32 chip onto my burn board. And that snaps in nicely with all the pins lined up. And now this pretty much acts like the dev board. So I will be plugging in my USB to my Windows machine. Now this dev board, or sorry, this burn board has a lot of buttons on it and pins. This button turns the board on, and you can turn it off between burns and pop the chip out. So I've put my ESP32 chip in where we're going to program Bluetooth for the N64. Leave it off for now, put it aside. It's plugged into the Windows computer. So where we're going to go here on my computer screen here, if you look, I'm going to click the latest on the GitHub. And that brings me to this screen. I'm going to scroll down where it says download latest firmware. I'm going to click this link here. It'll open up this page. We're going to scroll down to download. And we want to download hardware 1, not hardware 2. Make sure it's hardware 1, it's the latest one. So this one in our case would be version 24.10, hw1.zip. And right here, you don't have to donate, but it'd be nice if you could for the developers, but you can click here, no thanks, just take me to the downloads. And again, make sure you download the right one. This one is the newest. So download the zip. Now you're going to see all the pre-compiled bin files in here for your ESP32. So we can exit this now. We need to get our blue retro page back. Okay, so in our zip file we have bootloader bin, partition table, and then you pick your firmware file. So in our case, we'd be looking for the N64. So those are the 3 files that we need. So if you haven't done so already, you need to download the Flash download tool. I'll show you where to get that. So if you go into search and type in Flash download tool, you can also link it in the YouTube video. That's for ESP32. And we're just downloading the Flash tools right here, which is exactly what I just showed you. But this is in a zip file. Extract the zip file. Open up Flash tools. We're going to select ESP32. Work mode develop. Okay. I've already done this before, so it's already pre-filled in. But what you want to do here is make sure it looks like mine here. You're going to click the dots. For the first one's going to be the bootloader. So we want to go into bootloader and click bootloader. The second one is going to be partition table. So we go into here where we just extracted the bin. We go into partition table. You hit open for that one. And the last one is the actual firmware. So N64. So you find your N64 firmware. There it is. Now for these 3 files, we need to put the right addresses in here. So I'll put it in my YouTube video link in the bottom in the description. But the first one for the bootloader is 0x1000. The next one 0x8000. And the third one's 0x100000. Again, I will link that in the description. Make sure all these settings are the same. Make sure your COM port is correct. So what I like to do, it's turn it on now. I believe it's COM23. So if you turn it off, that one should disappear. Maybe not. Hold on. Let me figure out which COM port it is. So if you guys see a whole bunch of COM ports here, just make sure you figure out which one it is. So my COM port is 11. So if you have all these settings correct. First off, we can hit erase. I usually have luck if you look at my camera down here, if you hold program while hitting erase, and then let go. Once it starts doing things, it should start to work. When it says download here, it's doing things, so just wait. Once it says finished, we can hit start. To confirm your firmware is working, you can turn on your controller and it will connect to the chip. Okay, now we can go to the install of the chip to the N64. It's okay.
Select your player. Yahoo! Oh, Mexico!
I need a fourth controller.
There's Daddy something.
Oh, select your player.